Okay, 12 bar blues, simple formation using simple voicings. We have the bass in the left hand, and we're going to use the major third and the flat 7 to form our dominance 7th voicing in the right hand. And the key of C, so we've got C on the left, and we've got our third and flat 7 in the right. There's our F or our 4, and we've got our third here and our flat 7 for F in the right. And for G, again, we've got our third and our flat 7 in the right. Initially, for our left hand position, we're going to start off with finger 5 on the C, finger 2 on the F, finger 1 on the G. That's going to change later, but you'll see why. Okay, now for the rhythmic interpretation. There are a number of options. I'm going to go through a couple of them. Let's start with this one. Alright, simple enough. And let's swap it over now. Let's have a bit more movement on the right and a bit less on the left. Okay, and I would say go through these two just to get yourself comfortable and familiar with the changes before we start going into more complicated rhythms and movements, particularly on the left hand, as you're about to find out. Do a couple more variations on this simple timing. This time we're going to bring in some syncopation before we move into the more adventurous walking bass on the left. Okay, swap over now. Again, another couple to try out before moving on to the next part of this. Now let's look at this walking bass in the left hand. So we're going to now change position. Finger 1 is going to go to our root for our chord or our tonic, which is going to be C. And finger 4 on A. Finger 3 on B flat. Finger 2 on B, and finger 1 back to C. So we're going to do this. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And let's now look at the transition from C to F. Which is, again, keep finger 1 on C, and then tuck finger 4 over for D, finger 3 for E flat, finger 2 for E, finger 1 for F. And the principle we're following here is we always want finger 1 to land on the root of our chord change. So we start off on C, or the 1 chord, as we're in the key of C, and when we move over to the number 4 chord or F, again we want to land on finger 1. Alright, and then we do a similar sort of movement as we were doing in C. Finger 4 on D, finger 3 on E flat, finger 2 on E, and finger 1 on F. Okay, now we need to transition back down from F to C. So we're not doing that movement in reverse. We're going from F, finger 2 to E flat, finger 3 to D, finger 4 to D flat, and finger 1 back on C. So if you notice carefully, we did not do our transition from C to F in reverse. It was a slight alteration on that going back. All right. Going up, we didn't use D flat, and coming down, we didn't use E. So I'll show you the two, one after the other. Okay, now transitioning from C up to G, it's a bit more simple, just using all the white keys in between. Tuck finger 4 over for D, finger 3 for E, finger 2 for F, finger 1 lands on G, or our 5 chord. And then we do the same movement as we did for the other 2 chord changes. And if you notice, there's a pattern, all right? On C, you go down by a minor third, and then do a chromatic rise back up to your root of your chord. Same thing in F, down by a minor third, chromatic rise back to your root, and the same for G. Down by a minor third, chromatic steps all the way back up to the root of your chord. Now going back from G down to C, it is actually going to be the change in reverse, the transition in reverse, unlike when we were going from F back to C. Okay, now I'm going to go through the whole cycle with all of these changes and transitions as just described. Okay, 12 bars. So here's bar 1, 2, 3, and on 4 you start your change. 1, and back again. Change. 1 bar in G, change again, and 2 bars in C. And that right there, that would be the start of the 12 again. So what you could actually do is when you get to the final bar, let's take it from G going back into C to finish. You can do and 1, 2, 3, 4, and that gives you a more complete resolution. Do it one more time. This time I'll count the bars all the way through, so you know what bar number you're on with each change and transition. Bar 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, now once you've got that under your fingers, bring in the right hand. Initially, keep it simple, just so you can get used to the left and right hand coordination. Here goes. Okay, now I'm going to do one variation with syncopation for you, which would be something like this. Okay, so once you've got your left hand comfort sorted out, you can get into this. 1, 2, 3, and. Of course, there are others. The options are quite wider, a lot wider than the scope of what we're looking at here. I'll give you another example. You could try that. I'm not going to complete it for you. I want you to give it a go and see how it turns out for you. But yeah, that's what I would call 12-bar blues stage 1. Look out for stage 2 and enjoy practicing.